Welcome back, everyone. What's old can be new again. With a little creativity and elbow grease, we have Beth Mulone from the Painted Pear back with us to show us how to upcycle our studio chairs with help from fabric paint, correct?
Yes, it's really actually not fabric paint. It is a chalk-based paint that you can find in all of your boutiques or home improvement stores. I used a brand called Dixie Belle, and that's locally made as well, and right here in the state of Florida.
This is it.
Yes.
So
and
what else could you use this paint for?
Furniture, walls, crafts.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, I like that because then you could just get a big tub and then use it for several different things.
Exactly.
So how do we get started with upcycling these chairs, Beth, before we get to the paint?
Correct. Look at the piece that you're going to work with, and make sure that it is worthy of doing something for it. Because if it is broken or deteriorated, you don't want to do that, especially with the fabric. You want to make sure it looks good. There's no holes. It's not weak.
Okay.
So you do that, but then when you're dealing with older chairs and fabric, when you rub, it gets pilly, right? You have that. So I thought, oh, I wish I had that shaver back when I was a kid and I would shave my sweaters. But I didn't. So if you just use a sanding block, very fine, and we can walk over here, and I'll show you how. Yes. So if you just feel it, she has her gloves on to protect her nails.
I know I do, but I'll take it off to feel it. But yes,
this
and I can see it, You can
see it, exactly. And then when you put a water-based product on it, it's going to lift it. So then it's going to be even more noticeable.
Got it.
So if you feel this, now take your little sanding block, just do some rubbing, not super hard. You don't want to tear it. Yep.
Okay.
And then see if you can see it's coming up. You see it move?
Yeah.
You can give a little more elbow grease if you want. A little more. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I really see it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So how hard do you want to press this against the fabric? Because you don't want to tear it.
No, you don't. And as you're working, you would use your other hand just to make sure, okay, I'm getting it off, it's smooth, and then look at it, we made a mess, right?
Right. So that's what happens when you're upcycling.
It's fun. So what we want to do is now we want to get the vacuum out, and we're going to vacuum this off, and that also helps just pull out any old stuff that might be lingering on the fabric.
So you'll do that, and then it'll look like this, right?
Well, then you bring it up. So then your next step is then it's nice and smooth.
Right.
All the pills are gone, and it still may happen because it's going to lift it because anything water-based is going to bring up and make a texture on anything.
Okay.
So then you're just going to get your brush out. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And we do use some water just to loosen up the paint, and we can just spray our brush to start. I'm going to hand that off to you.
Thank you. Right back here.
And then you can just.
Do I stick the paintbrush into there, or get something?
We should have I should have brought a different container in, yes, so you don't cross-contaminate.
Okay.
For today's purposes, we're gonna put it right in that little jar.
So dip it in.
Yep, dip it in, and then you can just see how I did the first stroke. It's gonna be a little haphazard. There you go. And you can backstroke it back out.
And how many coats are we going for here?
This is just going to be your first coat. And your first coat should be just a little light, not super. You're going to saturate it. You're going to get it cupped. You want good coverage because you don't want a lot of shadowing because then you just have to deal with that later.
Right.
But the first coat's going to cover pretty well. And then once that dries, it gets this kind of a feel. And you want to take your sanding block again and maybe just rub over it so it kind of and it softens the fabric as well.
Really?
Because, again, we're painting fabric. You're like, how am I going to be able to use this, right?
Right.
It is usable. We're going to seal it. When we're all done, we seal it with a wax. And it protects it, and it is usable. And it will not crack. I don't know about the longevity of it, but it should
last you for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're upcycling, so if you get another year or two.
Exactly. At least it's on a landfill somewhere. We were talking about that earlier.
Exactly.
Think about things that you can do with, again, the creativity to make things last a little bit longer.
Right.
Okay.
And again, these are chairs for you guys, actually.
They're for our studio. You will see them.
Yes.
Guests will be sitting on them.
But, I think originally you asked if we could reupholster them. And yes, these could be reupholstered for sure.
Okay.
I could do it, but I thought, well, why not paint it? Because it's even more fun, and actually it's a little more economical.
Exactly.
Because when you get into the welting, I don't really know how to do that. So then I might have to hire the pro to do that. So that adds to my cost. So with this, at least paint, you're just into it for this expense. And then if you make a mistake, you can just keep repainting it.
Exactly. I was going to ask you, can you paint the legs?
Yes.
Would you suggest that?
I would.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I like lighter wood, so that's just the world I like to live in.
Okay.
But you do not have to. You can keep your legs natural. You could even rough these up. You could get your sanding block out and maybe show the lighter wood underneath it
that's a
to
good
give it more
idea.
depth, and because it is kind of flat when it's all said and done. You want to give it some dimension, and that could be through your legs on the chairs.
Okay.
Or when we're all done with this, if you're a stenciler or you are an artist, you could create a scene on this to create it to look like fabric.
Okay. Oh, these are great ideas, Mary Beth. Thank you so much for making our chairs beautiful once again. We appreciate it. Hey, if you'd like to connect with Mary Beth, you can follow her on Facebook. There she is. Just search the Painted Pear Designs. Look for her beautiful face in the profile picture, and you can connect with her on Instagram as well.